Welcome to our birth announcement video for the calligraphy litter of Australian Labradoodle puppies from Van Isle Doodles. Hi, I'm Claire, and in today's video we are going to introduce you to these puppies who are not even 24 hours old. And we're going to tell you a little bit about the birth experience. We'll tell you about each of the puppies, and you're also going to watch me showing how we help puppies at the milk bar. So these puppies were born yesterday. They started being born at around 9 in the morning, and the last one was born at 2 in the afternoon. Mama Anise likes to take her time to do things, so we had a slower than normal delivery time. But everything went well, everything went smoothly, other than the long period of time that it took. Now I want you to take a look here at Anise's milk bar. You can see this is a very generous milk bar. And one other thing you might notice here is her nipples are almost flush with her mammary gland. So this means it's a little bit harder for the puppies to latch when they're this young. So that means we come in, we help the puppies, we make the nipple protrude a bit more, we hold the puppies up, and we encourage them to latch, and then we even hang on to them and help support them if they need that while they get going. At the moment, Pink Collar Girl's doing a great job, and everyone else is being uncooperative. Now, you know the saying, you can't lead a horse, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, it's very similar for puppies. You can show them the milk bar and you can do everything in your power, and they may just not latch. So it is a process where we come in many times throughout the day and hang on to the puppies and do what we need to do to make sure that they are nursing all right. And not only is this good for the puppies, because of course they need their nourishment, but we also don't want Anise's milk bar to get to the point where she develops mastitis. We need these mammary glands to stay soft and pliant. And we also don't want them to get so full that they're too engorged for the puppies to be able to latch readily. Even Pink Collar Girl there just had a falling off. But that's all right, because now let's introduce you to the puppies. And if they're not nursing, then they're not going to be losing out on that precious time at the milk bar. So as I said, these puppies are less than 24 hours old. 2 days ago was when Anise first started going into labor. So how do you know when a dog is in labor? Well, the first sign, and the usually most reliable sign, is they stop eating. Anise has had an absolutely fabulous appetite from the time she came to stay with us in preparation for whelping the puppies. She was eating a good 2 to 3 pounds of food a day in preparation for their arrival. And of course, because she had 6, we all know that she was feeding a big family, and so that's why her appetite was so good. So then 2 days ago at breakfast time, she was all excited. She was waiting for her food, licking her lips. I put her dish down. She put her head in and, oh, no, I'm not going to eat. So this is typical of what happens, because the instinct for a girl is to completely evacuate her body prior to giving birth. So that is step 1, where the mom just doesn't eat. So throughout the day, 2 days ago, we offered her many different things. Everything was a no. Until dinner time. We were having our dinner, and she was pestering me, and we had chicken breast. So I gave her a bit of my chicken breast. Well, she just about took my whole hand off. So she ended up eating almost as much of my chicken breast as I did. And she was still walking around looking for something to eat. And Reynold had already finished his, so he didn't have any to offer her. So we went into our Doodle restaurant supply, and we found we had some pork slices. So we took those out of the freezer. They were quick to thaw, and we just did a little flash in the pan. So they were still actually somewhat icy in the middle, but had a little bit of exterior warmth. And she gobbled those all up She ate probably, I think, about 2 or 3 of those, and then psh, that was it. Nothing more, thank you very much. And then she proceeded to do what she's doing right now, lots of panting. Now right now she's panting because we have the room at 24 degrees, and so it's very, very hot in here. So that's why she's panting, trying to cool herself off. At that time though, when she's panting, that tells us she has gone into stage 1 labor. So stage 1 labor involves the puppies moving out of the uterine horns. There are 2 uterine horns for mama dogs, moving down closer to the exit where they're getting themselves into position to be born. So there are contractions going on, it's just they're not visible to us. The dog pants and often is trembling because it is uncomfortable for her. So the panting and the trembling are their signs of discomfort. So that goes on, and then she wants to go out every 2 minutes to go to the bathroom to continue that evacuation process. So we got everything set up after dinner, expecting that maybe around midnight, 2 in the morning, we would see some puppies. So we got everything all done. We moved our dogs out so they weren't sleeping with us. We have one of our breeding prospects boarding with us, so we moved her crate out into the main part of the house so that everything was there quiet just for Anise. And then what did she do? Well, she dug everything up like we would expect, continuing on showing us all the signs of imminent birth, and then she promptly fell asleep. So she went to sleep and we sort of slept. Mostly we stayed awake, just vigilant in case the puppies were going to be born. You are just making a fuss. And we were sort of half awake, half asleep, but nothing happened. She would wake up every now and then and dig everything up, and then she would fall back to sleep. Then at 6 in the morning, she looked like she was having a contraction. She had all the beds piled all over the place. I hope you watched the video on Facebook because it really was quite a performance. Digging furiously, she made a roof, and so up we jumped. We got out of bed and quickly got ourselves dressed and waited for the first puppy to be born. But that took 3 hours. Anise is notorious for being slow with her deliveries. She likes to drag the process out. Whereas Raven had 8 puppies in just over 2.5 hours, Anise took, I think it works out to about 6 hours to have 6 puppies. So it's a long process, but of course they're all well worth waiting for. And she was comfortable throughout the whole thing. There was no upset, she wasn't agitated. When a girl is delivering, when they're having active contractions, you can see them in the body. If they are having contractions for an hour and no puppy is delivered, that's when you know you have a situation. That generally means that a puppy might be dead and not being delivered, a puppy might be sideways and not being able to be delivered, or it might be what we call frog-legged, and that's when the legs are spread out and they're trapped behind the cervix and need to be released in order for the puppy to be born. So it means you may be able to go in and adjust the position of the puppy and then help deliver the puppy, or it might mean that you need to be going to your veterinarian and having an emergency cesarean section done. If your girl is taking a pause though, and she's just like this, where she's panting, but she's resting comfortably and there's no visible signs of contractions, then everything's good. There's nothing to worry about, and you just have to be patient and wait. So our puppies are all born in our primary suite, and the reason we do that is because that is where our moms are comfortable, that's where they've been sleeping, but we also do it because it's more comfortable for us. So if we have a girl like Anise who likes to take her time, we can go sit on our bed or lie down to relax our backs, because the puppies were on the floor delivering them, which gets hard on the body if you're sitting on the floor for 6, 7, 8 hours. And we have a TV, so we can always watch the TV. That way the girl knows that we're relaxed, so she too tends to be more relaxed. So it works out better for everybody if we're in a location where everybody can rest easy and be comfortable. Some girls will take as long as 6 hours. They might deliver 2, 3, 4 puppies, bang, 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 and then poof, we have what's called the whelping pause. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on? And you know there's more puppies because you've checked them before they've been delivered. You can also feel them. Once you've done it a few times, you can feel where there's more puppies. And you're thinking, gosh, what's happening? But as long as she's like this, you can rest assured that all is well. Some girls even will do this pause for 12 hours. Oftentimes breeders will put their girl to bed and then wake up the next morning to a surprise puppy. In this case, we did get a surprise puppy. We didn't go to bed and it wasn't 12 hours. We were expecting that she probably had 6, but in the scan, and you've probably seen that posted on our Facebook page, and if you don't follow us on Facebook, be sure you do, please. It's just Van Isle Doodles. You can find us readily on Facebook. We'd love to have you there with us. But in the scan, you could see the skulls, and it was 5 obvious skulls with a possible 6 because there was some overlap. So then you can't tell, is it 2 separate skulls or is it just a shadow from the actual scan? So when the 5 were born, it wasn't really easy to tell if there was another one or not. Anise is a bit plump, so it's a little bit harder to use your fingers to feel where the babies are. So the other way that we then tell, again, using food, when a girl is finished delivering, is we offer them their post-whelping meal. If they eat, 99.9% of the time, that means we're all finished, there's no more babies. We have a handheld Doppler, we have our hands, we have the scan, but to me the most reliable method of knowing if we are finished is if mom eats. So Reyna went and got her a meal of food. We brought it out, and what did she do? She inhaled it. It was like she hadn't eaten for days. Well, of course she hadn't eaten for 24 hours. But anyways, we're like, oh, okay, so there is only 5. That 6th one was a shadow. So we felt around a bit more, and again, it was not clear because it felt to me like I was probably just feeling her bladder, and we moved the puppies and Anise in here. And so we hadn't had lunch yet. It was 2 o'clock, and well, by then it was 2:30, so we thought, okay, we'll sit down and have a bite to eat. And we were just sitting down to eat a little snack, and there was quite a little bit of fussing going on in here, a little bit more than what we would expect for newborns. So Reyna got up and came and took a peek, and lo and behold, number 6 had been born. So you may wonder, well, what is the breeder's role? Why are you there when they have puppies if they can have them by themselves? Well, we're there to support the girl emotionally. Anise likes to lie right up in my lap when she has her puppies. It's really important to them that they know you're there, providing them with support and comfort. And the other thing is if something does go wrong. So sometimes moms at first, they may not lick the baby out of the sack quickly. In Anise's instance, a couple of the puppies, she bit the cord so close to their tummies that they were bleeding. It's very easy for a puppy this little to bleed out. So that's when we put our hemostats on there, and so that is one of the things we do, is ensure that the puppy's not going to die from an inadvertent injury caused by mom. The other thing was a couple of these puppies had quite a lot of fluid because when they were being born and Anise was taking them out of the sack, they were in a position where a lot of the amniotic fluid went up their nostrils, and so then we have to remove that. Mom can't do that. So what we use is a dealie. You may be familiar with those if you have children, and then we suck all of that excess mucus out of the puppy so they're able to breathe and not drown in their own mucus. So those are the things that we do. Otherwise, we try to interfere as little as possible. We do, of course, put their color-coded ID tags on them, collars, and we weigh them. And we figure out if they're a boy or a girl. Sometimes if we're really tired, I make a mistake, but by the next day, usually I catch that. So this is how our birth went with Anise. That's how things are going now. I could say my only concern is her milk bar is very, very full. Her nipples are hard for the puppies to latch onto, and so we are doing our best to assist with that. Normally we wouldn't be doing this much assistance, but it's important that we don't want Anise to get mastitis, and we do want the puppies to gain weight. So now I'm going to introduce you to all the puppies. In all of our videos, we will do that in birth order. Anise, this is her last litter, so she's probably not going to mind if I pick them up. In fact, it looks like she wants to go somewhere. So I'm not too worried about that, but if she does tell me that she's concerned that I'm picking them up, then I will put them back down, because a stressed mom makes for a stressed puppy, and a stressed puppy makes for an unhappy, less calm adult dog. So it's really key that we keep mom happy and calm so that we have nice, calm adult puppies. So this is actually quite handy that she's done this. Anise still has some discharge from post-whelp, so she's just cleaning herself up there to make sure that she's not contaminating the baby's bed. If she does have some discharge that gets on the bed, then we simply change the carpet out, which right now we're doing multiple times a day. She also chooses to flip herself over so that both sides of her milk bar are being used. So our firstborn is this beautiful ebony and ivory pink color girl. We had 4 girls to start off with. And this little lady has got a cute little white goatee, beautiful white toes, and some white on her chest, if she'll show us there. It's really just, I love ebony puppies. To me, they're classic. They are absolutely gorgeous the way they shine. And they also just, I don't know, I think it's just that classic, nice ebony color and the way that it gleams so much. So Miss Pink Collar Girl was first at 9:09 a.m. and she is also the biggest puppy in the litter at 270 grams. Now, she is really good at nursing, so we've been using her to get the nipples to come out a bit more and to drain off these glands that are really full. So I'm going to see if I can get her to go on to one here. I may just leave her on her own and see what she works out. But she's been really, really helpful. It's always really handy when you have a puppy who's good at this, when you have a situation like this. Anise is unique because we don't really have anyone else with these flush nipples. No, Anise is going to not be cooperative there. There we go, we got her on, so that's good. We'll get her situated there and just leave her while we go to the next puppy, who is Red Collar Girl. Love this. This is our gorgeous ebony party girl, and she is going to just be stunning because she has these 2 black ears. Well, this ear is part white, part black, and then she's got the beautiful black on her head, and look at those beautiful markings on her back. Very reminiscent of Papa Samurai. This is Samurai's first litter, and we couldn't be more delighted with the puppies that he's given us. Miss Red was born very soon after Pink, 9/12, and she weighed 215 grams. I'm just loosening up their collars a bit here, as they're all just a little bit tighter than I would like them to be. And there's your baby. Yeah, that's a good girl. Already look at those little polka dots on the nose, so adorable. And we'll put them over in the general area and see if they are able to help themselves, and if not, then after we're finished the video, then I'll give them a little bit more help later on. Next born was Green Collar. She is a girl as well. Another gleaming ebony, very similar to Pink Collar. But she's just like Mom. She is a phantom. So you can see those markings on her here. She's actually a tri. She's got all this beautiful white, and then she's got the tan points on her legs, the side of her face, and boop under her bum too. And Miss Green, she took a while to arrive. It was 10:51 before she showed up, and she was 213 grams. Oh, Miss Red, you're going the wrong way there, little girl. This side of Anise is a little bit harder for the milk bar. We have more of the sort of flat nipples. Red Collar's doing her best, but she's not being very successful so far. There we go. I'll be right there, just a minute. Then we've got Burgundy Collar. And we were doing this great alternating pattern where we had a solid, then a party. And Miss Burgundy is also a beautiful ebony party girl. She's got all sorts of gorgeous black on her head with that beautiful stripe of white down the middle there. Burgundy arrived and just a little bit more than an hour after Green at 10:59, and she is the smallest puppy at 173 grams. Now right now she looks like she has a lot of white on her body, but she actually has several bits of black in here, which are going to end up being smooshes. Highly technical term, just like her Papa Samurai, but these aren't going to show up for a little while. So that was Burgundy. Then we had to wait from 11 until 12:45 for Blue Collar to be born. And Blue Collar was our first of two boys. We kept up with we broke the pattern rather with him, as we had two parties in a row. Lots and lots of markings on this guy. And he's the opposite from his sister. He has two sides of his face are the beautiful ebony, and then he's got one little drop here that's moving over, and he too has those little black smooshes of polka dots showing up on his face already. And Mr. Blue was 205 grams. And then our bonus puppy, which was the surprise, was Black Collar Boy. And he also is a gorgeous, gleaming ebony, and he does have just a touch of the phantom markings. He is not a phantom, although you can see he's got the markings under his tail. They're on his legs, so he is a phantom, but he's what we call a weak phantom. It doesn't sound very complimentary, but it just means his phantom markings are more subtle. So you need to have a whole series of alleles that come through in order for phantom to be expressed. And so what will have happened with Black Collar is out of the 5 that we need, he'll have had 4. So in just a little bit of that 5th. So he was able to sneak through the gate there, but didn't get quite all the ways through. And Mr. Black was born, we're guessing, at 2. We're not really sure since it was a surprise. And he was 245 grams, a very good size for the last puppy. So that is all of our puppies and our litter. Now, we didn't expect Anise was going to have 6 puppies. Last time she had 3. So we just took 4 reservations. So we do have 2 spots open in this litter, and they are going home in early November. So if you're interested, we would love to see your application and set you up with one of these amazing puppies. They're going to mature to between 20 and 30 pounds. Most of them are going to be 22 to 25 pounds. I don't know that we'll have anybody that gets to 30. I would be very surprised. And they're just going to have lovely temperaments. These puppies are all going to have a very strong therapy tendency because Anise and Samurai both come from strong therapy lines. So I anticipate we're going to see that be very evident in these puppies. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We will be doing updates for this litter weekly from here on after, and they will be on every Thursday. So we hope you follow along and watch these puppies grow along with our other litters that we have, and join us and learn lots about dogs, Labradoodles, and how puppies develop. Thanks so much for watching.